Hey everyone, and welcome back to Brian's Two Cents, and welcome to this, I guess, kind of remembrance video. Of course, it's been kind of a rough week, especially if you're an 80s kid or a Gen Xer like I am. Um, I don't know if you'd say three legends, but we've lost, like, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we've lost some pretty famous people here. Uh, and today was kind of the creme de la creme for me. In case you haven't heard, Hulk Hogan, Terry Bollea, the iconic wrestler, WWF, WWE wrestler, WCW wrestler, has passed away at the age of 71 this morning in Florida. Cardiac arrest, I guess. And I just wanted to come on here and kind of give you my perspective and some thoughts. I don't have yellow, but I'm wearing red. That's as close as I could get to Hogan. Of course, yesterday we lost Ozzy. And then the day before that, we lost Malcolm Jamal Warner from The Cosby Show. So if you're an 80s kid, you're not doing very well. You lose like an iconic kid actor from the 80s, one of the hit TV shows of the 80s. On Tuesday, you lose one of the top vocalist voices, just music icons on Ozzy Osbourne yesterday, and then today you lose just an iconic like entertainment star wrestler in Hulk Hogan, and it kind of makes you wonder if start looking up to see if the sky is still staying up there or not. But no, I like a lot of kids. I'm somebody that grew up in the '80s, and I can remember watching not only WWF back in the early to mid '80s, but AWA, Vern Gagne. I actually lived in Minnesota, which is where the AWA broadcast from. That's what it was out of, and so I remember that's where I first saw Hulk Hogan. And of course, at that time, he had his blonde hair was pretty much all over his head, not like it would be at the end, but yeah, probably about 1983. It's like one of my earliest wrestling memories. And then, of course, I got hooked and I watched him throughout his WWF time, I should say. And then ultimately WCW and then WWE later on. And I want to bring up the fact too. I know for some people, they're not necessarily mourning, because he's kind of has a complicated history, especially over the last 10 years with some things that came out with the sex tape and the racist remarks that were caught on a video about 10 years ago. So I mean, he definitely wasn't a perfect human being, and I'm not saying those things are okay, but I'm just here talking about the icon person that I grew up with as a kid and through the 80s and the 90s as a wrestler. He tried his hand at acting in several things. It really wasn't his strong suit. Suburban Commando, Mr. Nanny, No Holds Barred. Then he was on that TV show, I think Thunder in Paradise, in the mid 90s too, when he switched over to WCW. Um, but yeah, I mean, he was wrestling when I was growing up. I mean, he was the icon. He was the reason that WWF went to WWE in a lot of ways. And there's been many big stars and wrestlers that have come before him and after him, but I think he's kind of in his own category. Again, just talking about the wrestling stuff, the entertainment side of things, not necessarily the person of Terry Bollea. That's for other people can talk about that. And I've already seen some videos where people are like, yeah, karma and all that kind of stuff. If you want to live your life like that, that's fine. The guy made mistakes. He was not a perfect human being. I get it. Um, I'm just not living my life that way. I'm not going to celebrate somebody's death regardless of the mistakes and some of the comments that were made that were less than flattering throughout his life. But yeah, it kind of hits me because, like I said, the other two that we lost each day before, especially Ozzy yesterday. I didn't watch the Cosby Show that much, but I did watch it enough to know that, from all accounts, Malcolm Jamal Warner was a pretty good guy and very friendly. Ozzy, of course, has pretty much been deaf for the last 30 years or so, but just a rock icon that will never be duplicated for sure. Who else has bitten the head off a bat before? And then Hulk Hogan's the one that really brought it home for me today. So just wanted to come on here for a few minutes and give my thoughts. Obviously, I rest in peace to the Hulkster. Hulkamania will live forever. I can say that. And now he's up there in the heavens joining Gene Okerlund, who's got a mic in his face, and Macho Man and Andre the Giant squaring off, facing each other down. He's up there with all those icons where he belongs ultimately. But too early, too young, obviously. But unfortunately, we don't get to pick that. So rest in peace, and thoughts and prayers to all his family and his friends and everything. Go ahead and comment down below if you have any thoughts or memories about any of these three, particularly Hulkster, though. I'd be curious to hear. But yeah, we'll see you on the other side, brother. Thanks for watching. Bye.